Hi everyone, it's me Judy, and this is Judy's Take. So today I wanted to talk about a little bit about the Amy Coney Barrett nomination, the possible implications, and then I also wanted to talk about how close the election is. We're 7 days away, you guys. Holy crap. Okay, so I'm going to start off by reading off one of my posts again from Facebook. Because honestly, I wrote it for those of you who follow me there. I wrote it because I genuinely am thankful that I met so many friends along the way the last 4 years. Um, when this whole thing started with Trump, like, I used to be a Republican. You guys know that if you follow me. And when he ran, I just couldn't get with that. Like, I was fooled into believing that the Republican Party was actually, higher morals and this and that and blah, blah, blah. All the things that they claimed they were. I was naive and I believed it. But then Trump came along and they just dropped all that. Like, they just stood for nothing. They stood for hate. They stood for division. They stood for racism, for sexism, for all the isms out there, basically. And I was like, that's not me. Like, that's not who I am. And then on top of that, the fact that there was a lot of my friends and family who, well, not my family, but family in-laws who, just said the most racist stuff that I've ever heard. And I was like, how the hell could you have been cool with me knowing that I'm Mexican and then say these things? And they're always like, well, no, you're cool. You know what? F you. Anyways, so I'm very thankful for everyone. I lost a lot of friends at the beginning of this. A lot of, people who just went crazy and joined Trump's cult. They, whatever, that's them. But it's crazy though. I lost these friends, but then I gained like hundreds more in what, especially, when I was part of the Never Trump movement. And then I met a lot of Democrats who shared the same goals, which was to get Trump out. And here we are. We are 7 days away. Like, this is the last Tuesday before we find out if we elected Joe Biden or Trump again. There won't be any more Wednesdays left after this week, or Thursdays or Fridays. Like, it's in 7 days, you guys. That is crazy. So anyways, I wrote my post yesterday, so obviously it says 8 days on here. But I just wanted to read it and kind of elaborate and then talk about the whole Amy Coney Barrett thing. Anyways, so I said 8 more days, everyone. That sounds so weird, considering the years we have dealt with this monster at the White House. I just want to say that however this ends up, I truly appreciate every single friend of mine that I've made along the way. We have fought, worried, cried, lost friends, lost family, debated, prayed, hoped, got angry, and worked hard to get everyone we know to see that this election is one of, if not the most important elections of our lifetimes. And I'm proud of all the work we've done, and you all should be too. There were days that all this seemed hopeless and not worth it. There were times that it seemed that no matter how hard we tried, evil always would win the day. But we all somehow motivated each other to keep on speaking truth and reminding people that this is not who we are. We are compassionate people, Empathy is not weakness. Evil, hate, and division were always rebuffed. Trump has done a lot of damage to this country, but we are mother effing Americans. We will rebuild and build back better. We are almost to the end of this all. It's all on the remaining voters to rebuke hate. And although it's scary and dangerous to have hope in these times, I have hope still. The numbers of people voting is incredible. If you believe in God, believe that these years were a test. Friends, I truly believe we passed this test. And I believe the test is coming to an end. In 8 days, we will cry again, but this time because Joe Biden will win. This time because we know that things will get better. Thank you all, and get fired up. So, I'm truly appreciative of everyone who has listened to these videos, who has commented on my posts, who has been motivated by the things that we write, by the things that we say, by the things that we do, and has gotten others around them to be motivated. I have slowly seen, like from the beginning of this, a lot of people sit there and say, oh, you posting on Facebook doesn't make a difference. Go out there and canvas or, whatever. And it's like, you want to bet it doesn't make a difference? My 1,300 friends who are listening to me, you think it doesn't make a difference? At the beginning of this all of my Never Trump friends, they never, ever imagined ever voting for a Democrat. And yet, about 2 weeks after Trump was elected, I came to the conclusion that their hate won. Their hate won the election. And they will run on that hate. And run and run and run on it until it doesn't win anymore. And I realized, holy crap, the only way to beat this guy is to vote all Democrat. Because let's be real, there are only two parties. Maybe that'll change in the future, but as of now, that's it. Only two relevant parties. And I came to the conclusion that I need to stop focusing so much on trying to be a part of some group, a label. Oh, you're conservative. Oh, if you vote, I don't understand. If you vote for Democrat, you're not conservative. Like, what is that about? And it's like, you know what? Screw your labels. This is about my damn country. The country that I swore an oath to protect from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And Trump is a traitor. And I have been fighting for 5 years now to get that dude out of here. I fought, and the only thing was that we were wrong at the beginning. We were wrong to vote third party. I was still registered Republican. So honestly, my vote for Evan McMullin probably helped Hillary, honestly, more than it helped Trump. But anyways, that's all the past. Let's get over it and let's learn and let's do this, So it's just amazing how many people I've met and how we've all come together, whether we were Republicans in the past, whether we're independents, whether we're moderate Democrats, whether we're progressive Democrats. I have seen a big shift into, this election, it doesn't matter our difference. Our differences don't matter. Our country matters. And coming together, despite our differences, to take back our country, that's what matters. And something is really happening here, you guys. Something incredible. I mean, the numbers of people voting, it's crazy. We have a great turnout in young people. We have a great turnout in Black people. And it's just, well, all around. There's all around people turning up. And something is really happening here. And, you know, I feel somewhat confident that, you know, that Biden is, that all this is good for Biden. You know, I feel very, well, not very, but I feel a little confident. I mean, the numbers keep sticking, you guys. The numbers keep sticking. They stay consistent. It hasn't fluctuated. I know everybody's like a little bit traumatized, and I'm for real, like a little bit traumatized from 2016. And we're like, you know, we all thought like, oh, Hillary's going to win, but she didn't. But at the same time, this is not 2016, and Joe is not Hillary. People actually like Joe. And just, you know, just today in the news, I saw another police shooting. You know, obviously it's under investigation, but this is, you know, like Trump tried to say like, oh, there'll be more violence and blah, 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 blah in your neighborhoods. And the crazy part was that the videos and images that he was showing were all part of his administration. You know, like when you sit there in front of a freaking podium full of cops and sit there and say, don't be so gentle with them. You guys, you put your hands on their head so they won't bump their head. Like, you need to be rough on them. I'm paraphrasing. And then all of the good cops sat there and laughed. They laughed at the thought of hurting Americans that they supposedly serve, protect and serve. They laughed at that idea of not being gentle with them, or, you know, being rough with them. That's what I'm trying to say. They laughed at that, you know, and that was very telling. That was very telling. That was more telling than their BS about, you know, that there's so many good cops out there. You know, I believe there is, but it's just so many of them catch the spotlight who are not, you know. But, you know, honestly, is this what you guys want? This continuation, I think a lot of people are, you know, they fought really hard, and honestly, if Trump wins, a lot of them are done. They're done talking about this. I mean, at that point, what is there else to do? You know, we just got to deal with it because he's going to do whatever the hell he wants. You know, but I don't know. You know, I don't really talk about my faith. Just because I just don't. It's my thing, you know. But I do believe in God. And I feel like things have happened for a reason, you know. Obviously, this is not a political analysis, right, specifically right here, but it's just feelings. And, you know, last year, everybody was saying, no one can take down Trump. No one. It seemed like it was impossible to even think about it. I mean, he just kept winning. I mean, just look at the impeachment. Like, he won, basically. Like, he's impeached, yeah, but he's not out of office. No matter what, this dude kept winning. He just won right now with Amy Coney Barrett. You know, the Republicans gave him another win. You know, obviously they're desperate. You know, obviously they're hypocritical, but they won. And of course, they're already crying foul because they're like, oh, if Joe Biden wins, he's going to beg the court. It's like, well, you know what? You play dirty. Don't be freaking upset when other people play dirty. Okay? And honestly, it's in the Constitution. You guys call yourselves constitutional Republicans or conservatives. Yeah, well, you know what? the Constitution doesn't just work for one party. It works for any party. And so it says in the Constitution, it gives any president the right, the privilege to add or subtract justices from the bench. So sit down and shut up, because that's all you're going to be able to do if Joe Biden wins. Just sit there, shut up, and take it. And more than likely, you're going to lose for the next, I don't know, at least 12 years. Honestly, a lot of people in the Senate are, well, not a lot, but a few that are up for re-election are, I mean, their races are not looking good for them. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a flip in the Senate, and there's going to be more people added, more Democrats added to the House. So this is the thing about the nomination with Amy Coney Barrett. It's what I've been saying about the Republicans, that they are extremely short-term thinkers. They want that, what is it called, immediate satisfaction. And they don't sit there and think about the latent consequences. They don't think about, well, how will this impact the future? How will this decision impact maybe this group of people and that group of people? They don't think about that. They don't think about, well, how will that even impact our future? They don't think about it, because right now, they want it right now. And it works to their benefit immediately. Because guess what? Next week, what's up for, what are they going to bring up to the Supreme Court? Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. Yep. They're probably going to destroy it. That's just fact. And, you know, like I told some of my friends, I said, it's okay, because this is actually going to backfire on them. They don't care that it's going to backfire, honestly. They probably don't believe it's going to backfire. But it is. I think that this is another motivating factor for anyone who is still sitting on your ballot, or who hasn't gotten one, who hasn't went to go vote. This should be another example of why you need to get out there and vote for Joe. Because of this. Because it's BS. Because Ruth Bader Ginsburg was polar opposite of what Amy Coney Barrett is. Amy can't even touch RBG. I mean, seriously, how long has this chick been a judge? 2-3 years? That's, whatever. That's BS, dude. But, that's their doing. That's what, this is the way I tell my kids. Everything that you do, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want in life. You can choose anything you want. But just know that your choices have consequences. So you can either choose to do good and have good things happen to you, or you can choose to do bad and you have bad consequences. So they keep choosing bad. They keep thinking that this is a winning strategy. And it's not anymore. It used to be, but it's not. And honestly, I think this is going to bite them in the ass. That's just what it is. And I really hope it does. And you see the numbers, and everything's looking fantastic. Obviously, we can't get complacent. And, get out there. Stand in line for as long as you can. Up here in the Midwest, in the northern states, I know it's getting cold, but you know what? Put on some tennis shoes so you can deal with this is what I did. I put on some tennis shoes so that I knew that my feet wouldn't be tired standing in line. And I put on a shirt, I put on a sweater, and I put on a heavy leather coat, because it was like 40-something degree weather. And I wanted to make sure that I did not get tired or too cold standing in line, because I was going to stand in line for as long as I needed to stand in line. And that's just what it is. And I want you guys to do the same. Make a plan and be prepared for the elements, and stand there and don't let them tell you that you have to leave if you've been there, if you were standing there before the time that they close. You stand there and you make your voices be heard. And the same, don't worry about this Amy Coney Barrett thing. Get fired up about it, but just know that choices have consequences, and so do elections. Let's show them their consequences. Thanks, everyone.